Anyways, I'm going to finish up this project. I thought I would do a little GoPro footage, do a little recording, kind of show you what I'm doing. I'm building a box. Let's go inside the aerator box because the concrete blocks will not fit. 5 of them will not fit this way. They will fit down at an angle and set up on that lip. So I built a box that will fit inside this, and I'm gonna put that plywood on top of it and then bolt it in from each side, and it's going to have a piece of ply on it and then another box that these will actually go in, and then it'll actually be removable if you need to, but I'll probably just leave it in there because that's kind of why I'm making it, so I can just have the blocks in there. If I need to take the blocks out, I can take them out, and then I can store this in my shed up here. So it's going to make it a little bit more convenient. It works much better with 5 blocks than it does with just like 2 or 3. And it says it's capable of handling up to 150 pounds. So, and I've estimated these blocks are right around 25-30 pounds a piece. So should be right at 150 or so. And if it's a little over, you know, for what I gave for it, I don't think there's going to be a problem. It seems to be working fine. And but this right here is a little project I've been working on today. It's been nice, kind of a little bit cool, a little bit breezy, and I've been trying to get this ready to go together. I've drilled all the way around to fit this box, and then I'm going to mount it to it, and then I'm going to fit it to the bigger box. And so I still got to kind of do some measuring and drilling, and this in here is pretty much ready to go on. Yeah, actually, I need to bore countersink these from this side. Imagine how that works. So anyways, I bored them through, and now I'm realizing I need to do the countersink on this side, which is no big deal. It's still in the bit. Got this countersink bit the other day, and it has came in handy today. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I'm going with some 1 3/4, I think it is. Yep, number 8 Torx, and what we're going to use to put this bad boy together. So get a couple screws in, get it started, and then I can flip it over and sock them all in. So get a couple, 2 or 3 in to keep it stable for moving around. And I'm probably going to change this bit because these are 20 and this is a 25. So Torx 20. Started using these screws a while back when I'm doing some projects. When I built my shed, I used those for several things. Actually, I put the floor down with just regular nails, and it's already kind of working loose, so I'm going to wind up putting these in and to fix that issue. So upside down, so apologize for the footage being kind of goofy for a minute. But kind of necessary in a way. Now, once we got our position, I'm going to roll it over and we can really get busy. See my dog out there keeping guard. She's spoiled rotten. She's a rotten husky. We love her though. She goes with me to town about every day. We go get a snack for lunch, chicken nuggets and sometimes cheese sticks, and I think she looks forward to that about every day. Never been known to spoil an animal. Not till today anyways. And we'll back her off a couple notches. I'm burying them to her pretty good. Love this drill. Yeah, I like it better on too. It's a Bauer 20 volt. Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight. We got a lot of stuff at Harbor Freight. I really ain't got a problem with their products. Works pretty good. A lot cheaper than the name brand, unfortunately. I don't know if they're made in USA or not. Made in Korea. Yeah, imagine that. So, anyways, hopefully here for long we'll have a lot more products built in the USA. I think Trump's kind of shooting for that. I got no problem with it. Alright. Alright, that is done. This should fit, I'm hoping, perfectly right down in here. Okay. Boom. Still got room to work my lever. Pull it out and then drop everything down. Yes, I had to offset it just a little bit to this one side, but yep, not the problem. Not the problem. Alright, second box. This is the one that's going to hold the concrete blocks. I like doing projects like this. Haven't had my own home for quite several years. Finally was able to buy a home. And getting tools together again and getting to where I can actually do things like this. It's kind of enjoyable. So I'm gonna mark this. And unfortunately, I'm not just a fly by the seat of my pants. Unfortunately, I'm a measure, remeasure, mark, measure, bore, mark, measure. Kind of OCD-ish, you think. Sometimes I just do whatever, but I think things look a little better and come out a little better and less wasteful material. I always think about trying to make things to where I can get the most out of my stuff. I think it was kind of brought in around the time I was working for Kimball's. It was all about optimization, and nothing wrong with that. But I think this pretty good. So far so good anyways. I can get it done before dark. Had a few little things that we had to stop and do, move some furniture, and I wanted to do quite a few other things today actually, and don't always get to do that, so no biggie. Okay, so I'm gonna go an inch from here. I'm thinking about where my screws are at, because that's on the end, and it's got a 3.5 inch screw. So if I go too far this way, then I'm gonna go in here and hit that screw. So we gotta be sure and go over far enough to miss those big long screws. Okay, one in the middle and one in between. Duplicate the process. One in the middle, about an inch in. And to duplicate this across, approximately. This don't have to be perfect. If it wasn't cold out and I was trying to beat darkness, I probably would measure and mark all this. Just the OCD in me. So actually I need to do the bottom side, don't I? And my dog's over watching the bird because she loves the birds. Being a husky, it's kind of hard to believe. You know, she thinks she was a bird dog, the way she acts toward birds. She gets out here a lot of times and she'll run around the yard and I'll tell her to get the birds, and she runs around there and hops like a bunny rabbit sometimes. She gets so excited about it. It's funny to watch her. I don't think she'd even heard them. She got a hold of one. If I play with it. Probably would play with it. Okay, so alright, and I didn't use like marine grade or anything. This is not going to be out in the weather anyways. It's going to be stored in the shed, so, and I may or may not paint it. You know, I do have a bunch of extra paint if I wanted to, but at this point I don't see the need. So, you guys got one of those aerators and it's not quite holding the weight you would like or such, I'll make you one of these. That's a foot across, and that's a foot across, and it's 30, what was it, 30 some inches. As far as the bolts, I went to the inside of the bolts, just a little shy instead of trying to fight with them. And so come out about 39. It's down there perfect between these bolts. So instead of having to go on top of them and fight with that or whatever, I just went on this side of them And then of course there's going to be a screw going through these holes and into the 2x4 to hold it from moving around. And the top will wind up being 42 by 18 3/4. And then this bottom box is, just in case you're curious, it's a foot. So I went a foot by 39. Okay, so foot 39, 41, and I think it winds up coming out about 7/8. So what I done, I made this big enough to where once I put this other box on top, when I put those blocks in, they have probably an 1/8 inch on each side, because it's 1/4 overall, so it's going to be about an 1/8 inch play, and then probably a 1/4 inch lengthwise. So when I put them down in there, they'll probably have an 1/8 on each end, so it gives just a little bit of play, but not enough where they rattle around, move around, or anything. So that was the goal, anyways. I haven't actually stuck them down in this yet, so I may get a big surprise here in a minute, huh? May get a surprise. So looks like we're something's out a little while square. So we're gonna have to pull it a little bit. Put a couple screws in. And then we'll rack it a little bit. Yeah, sure is. Just a little bit out of square. No biggie. Nope, it will straighten up, I'm sure. We'll put some in this end piece here, and we'll pull that over in place. Do 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 do. These are 1 3/4, so it's a 1/2 inch ply. So we got about an 1 1/4 going into the 2x4. I was going to use, no, actually this is 3/4 ply. I was going to use a 1/2 inch, and then I decided to go with the 3/4. Oh, so it didn't have a 1/2 inch piece big enough, so I had a 4x4 piece of 3/4 left. So yeah, it kind of volunteered itself, because I wasn't going to go buy a whole sheet just to do this when I had stuff laying around. Yeah, perfect. Everything looks good. Yeah, tell you what, since we got a couple in, and I don't have my magnet on here. Got a bit holder with a magnet, which works mucho better. So yeah, just dump damn things out and get some. Get out of the way, dog. She's goofy sometimes. She'll stand in front of you like, what are you doing? Okay, let's see what we got. This kind of helped having a hardware store across the street too, where I live. It's like less than a mile. So when I do these projects, if I don't have something and I need it, I'm not driving a huge distance to get what I need to finish the project, so that's really nice. But I'm not right in the center of town either, which I would rather not be. Anyways, let's see if it'll fit. Yeah, well, all right. Okay. I'll mark it in a minute. I'm gonna put lever side on that. Boom. See, still got room to work at. Yes. Now, let's see if the blocks will fit. If it don't, I'm not gonna be too much of a happy camper. Oh yes. A little bit of play from the front and the back. Nothing horrible. That's 2. Did I measure correctly? There's 3. This is either going to be an epic fail or a success. What do you think? I'm hoping it's going to be a success. But you know, I could have ciphered wrong. Nope. It fits. What do you think of that? It's an Aerator box adapter. And as you can see underneath, there's holes. So I'll use a big washer and a screw and just screw into those. And it'll keep this from rocking and moving. And if I decide later on, I don't think they'll move, but I can always put something in the 2x4 and run some kind of strap across it. I really doubt if I'll have to. I don't drive like a maniac. So I'm going to go ahead and get some washes. And see, those are 1.5 inches, so 1 3/4 will probably be plenty lengthwise. And do I have some washers? Which I did have some with some really small holes in the center. Aha! There we go. I use these on my solar panels when I first set them up. What I've done is I took my solar panels and put them side by side on a wooden frame, and then I got these some rubber bushings, and probably got some somewhere. Yeah. Well, maybe not. Anyways, somewhere in amongst my washers and stuff here, I had some rubber bushings. So what it is to screw it in here into some wood, and the rubber bushing would put pressure down on the solar panels to keep them from shifting and moving. So 1 2 3 4, that's all I need. And this is actually my workbench that I built. Got plans off a guy online. His son designed it, and I can't remember if it took like 12 2x4s, but they worked it out to where you got the most use out of all your cuts. And I really like that design. And of course, I got my charging station set up here for my cordless drills. And what I'm using here now is the Bauer. This in here is a Chicago Electric. It's another brand from up there. It's from Harbor Freight. I got this from Harbor Freight. Got that used from a guy on Facebook Marketplace, I think it was. And of course some of these tools I've collected over the last year slowly, and I use this space. Painted all this like my granddaughters painted. I actually got some pictures and maybe even some, I think some video footage of them painting this and helping with that. They're always eager to help, and I love that. So that's my solar trackers. I got to finish, and I will be probably doing some videos as I finish that up and put it in place and test it out. It has two actuators. This one is a spare. This other one is a new one. It's got one that's mounted. Took me a little bit to figure it out, but I wound up boring in the tower, which is a 4x4 3/16 tubing steel, and a 1/2 inch foot square plate. And then I had the guy cut me a couple ears and drilled the holes. I think they're around 3/4 with some holes to mount it. And then it's got a bushing. It's got a brass oil impregnated bushing that's in the aluminum, so it's a steel pin going through a bushing that fits tightly in the aluminum. That way it's turning on a steel pin and not in the aluminum, because it would wear, and because of the weight that's going to be on it, it's going to be a fair amount of weight on it, not horrible. And then this actuator is for the north-south, and then I got to finish up the east-west. So this one here is going to connect here, and I'll put that block on there for just testing and checking the range. And then now I've got it marked, and I'm going to take that off. I'll bore it, put some bolts in, both on the plates, which here's one of them, or the actual other one. The other one's up here. So should go in there, and I'll mount my motors upside down. I found out the hard way that if you mount them right side up with the motor down here, that it's easier for moisture and rain and everything to get on that. So I had one go bad, and when I took it apart to look at it, it actually had a lot of moisture and rust. So I took silicone that like you would seal around your windows or something, and I bought a new one, sealed around all these joints, because that's just a gasket. I mean, it's a paper gasket. It's not rubber, it's paper. And here's another one, and then this seat's on another one here. And then this right here is not very good at sealing. There's a screw here that holds this housing. And then there's another one down here. So it's not super waterproof. I mean, this technically is a cheap outfit as far as what you purchase for this system. But if you put a little bit more work into how you set it up, of course, once I get the panels on here, this will all be basically under roof. So the panels will keep the sun off of it, the panels will keep the weather off of it. And this right here is a weatherproof box. And I'm kind of getting off subject because I was working on my thing out here, so I'm going to get back to it. But this right here is, I was going to go with a battery and let a solar panel charge this up. And of course this right here will run through this charge controller, which will supply this. And that's how I've been running my system. And I may do this for a little while, but I'm probably going to run up some wiring and hardwire this to a power supply that will plug in under my house and be buried through the yard. And that way this will have power all the time, and I have to worry about where the battery will go bad, because this worked for the last year or so. But these right here over time get charged up, ran down, charged up, ran down, and lead acid battery is just not reliable. And it'll finally go bad, and then next thing you know, your system's not working. And this right here is going to have an anemometer which detects wind speed. And so what it'll do is, when it's tilted following the sun, so like in the evening like it is now, it's in the west, it's going to be tilted quite a bit. So if a storm come in, that would catch a lot of air. So what I wanted to do is to level out, and the anemometer with this system will be hooked in, and it will actually tell the east and west to go to 0, which will flatten out the panels, and then the panels will not catch the air like they normally would. And of course I'm gonna have them zero out at night, and then as soon as the sun comes up, it has a little detector that detects the sun no matter where it's at, and it'll actually change, and it'll go back to the east, pick up the sun. So you get the most out of your solar panels that way. And it's been working really well. Of course, I got my Batrium system hooked up now, and my new style batteries made, and loving that. So that's been an ongoing project. Got to add some fuses for my fuse wires here, or not fuse wires, but these wires is for the balancers. And what these do, these manage each pack. These will heat up if they're actually discharging. These right here to balance, but I have built the packs so perfectly balanced between all 7 that they basically discharged and charged within 4.04. So 3 to 7. That's how they went all the way down. I ran them down today to the point last night, and tell you actually they ran for over 12 hours. And before they got to the point where needing recharge, I took them down to 25 volts. That's as far as I took them. I could have went farther. Could have went almost to 3 volts, maybe less, which would have been 21. But I don't want to run them that far down until I can trust them, and I can put a switch in place which will shut them down if one or the other gets too low. Now this will do that. This system is programmable, but I have to get like a shunt trip, and it can be programmed into where the ground will connect into it, and what it'll do, it'll just disconnect the entire system if need be, if one of these got too low. And of course, don't see that happening right away, but anything could happen, and I'd rather it disconnect and save everything than to not disconnect and lose hundreds of dollars worth of batteries. That's probably $750 worth of sales. But you probably wouldn't be able to buy batteries lead acid and get the same capacity and performance. Nope. So see if we can finish this up, put everything away, and find something else to work on. I got some web design stuff, some training, some videos. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video. You guys have seen pretty much what I've done and what I'm getting ready to do, and I'm going to finish this project up by putting in 4 screws, and then I'm going to put everything away. And the sun is really just about to go down. Been a good day. I've got quite a bit done, especially with this project. Tomorrow I'm going to try to work on that solar tracker and replace the one I got now. So I do have some videos online if you guys want to look at them. I got a wind turbine as well. Lightning struck and damaged several things in my home, and I'm assuming it damaged it because it's not putting out right now. And you can see there is my solar, and I have 2 tracking, two not tracking, and that's the wooden setup that I made first just to figure out how all this stuff works. I started out with 4 100 watt panels, and then I switched to these, which is 270 watt panels, and the cost on them was approximately $1,200. So really, if you think about it, not bad. Probably about $1 a watt's what everything's going for. So those are going to be all 4 on the new tracker. And then what I'll do is I'll take all that down. I got concrete in the ground with bolts for the new tracker in between those 2. And so once I wire everything up and make sure it's all going to work, then all that's going to be taken out. So if you guys are interested, go ahead, comment, ask questions, whatever you need, especially on the solar stuff. That's something that's been ongoing. And if you want some dimensions or anything on this stuff here, let me know. I'm more than happy to help out when I can. So you guys take care, and we'll see you soon.